Hello Internet, welcome to Techno Geeks Corner. Today's episode we're going to be deciding the age-old question of whether to go with solid state or mechanical hard drive. That's right, it's on. So you got all the pieces together, and you feel like you're forgetting something, and then you think, where are you actually going to be storing all of that data? Well, don't fret. There's two main options that are appropriate for pretty much all your regular computer needs. Solid state, like this SD card, and a mechanical hard drive, kind of like this one over here. Now, the thing is that each one has their own pros and cons, and why one functions better at certain uses, while the other one functions a little bit better on other uses as well. We're going to go over those today. Solid states kind of work very similar to an SD card. And I know what you're going to say before I end up getting into it. Yes, I know, I have an SD card as a demonstration for a solid state. But in tangent, they kind of work very similar to each other. See, the way that an SD card actually stores data is via magnetic. So kind of like how your debit card ends up storing the data of your card on that little black stripe. Now keep in mind this is at the very basic level. I'm not going to go into depth about how it actually works. But SSDs are incredibly expensive. At the same time, each cell, so think of an SD card having only one cell and an SSD having multiple cells. Each cell has a certain number of time that it can be written to and read from before it officially dies. Generally, one of the biggest problems with SSDs is that they really don't give very much warning before they're officially dead. Once the cell is dead, there's not very much recovery that you can actually do from it. That data is officially lost. Now, of course, modern programs have gotten a lot better at actually predicting the life expectancy of said drive, but they're far from perfect. Your mileage might vary. Now, mechanical hard drives kind of come in two standard sizes. We have the laptop size, which is this little mini one. And then we also have the full-on tower size, or desktop size, as it's commonly referred to as. This bigger sized one. But the good news is, with modern computers, they use the exact same connectors. So, even in a tower setup, you can still use these rinky-dinky laptop sized ones. And another thing that's also very good about the mechanical drives is when they are starting to fail, you'll generally hear some ticking noises, clicking noises, or inconsistent RPMs. They'll spin faster and then slower. That's kind of what I experienced with this little guy over here. Now this guy is about 6 years old. It's what I originally built my tower with. And 6 years old, with the amount of data that I had flowing through it almost every single day, that's actually pretty good for a life, for a hard drive. Another good thing about a hard drive is even once the motor actually dies on the hard drive, it's still actually not too difficult to recover your data. Now, the way a hard drive works, or a mechanical hard drive works, it works very similar to how a CD actually is read. The laser is a little bit different, but overall it still has the same kind of ideology behind it. Now, it's not quite as simple as taking it apart and putting it in a CD tray and reading said data. Because, like I said, the lasers are a little bit different inside a hard drive. Not to mention, the speeds that a hard drive actually has to get is quite a few times faster than what a CD or a DVD or even a Blu-ray will have to spin before it will actually be able to read it. Now, personally, what I recommend is to actually go and buy yourself what's known as a hybrid drive. This guy over here is an example of a hybrid drive. Now, of course, yours might look a little bit differently. Consult your manufacturer on that. But what a hybrid drive is outside of this one over here, which as you can see doesn't take up that much space on the actual hard drive, this is just a controller chip for the actual hard drive itself. So this guy basically transfers the computer signals to the hard drive and then tells the computer what it ended up finding. As opposed to this guy, which actually does have kind of a mini built-in solid state. Now, this one's a 750 gigs of actual hard drive, and then it has 32 gigs of onboard solid state. Now, what most of those hybrids will end up doing is they would transfer things like your boot drives, for example, to the solid state, while also retaining a portion to the actual hard drive so that there's backup for it as well, just in case the solid state ends up failing. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. If you like what you see, click the subscribe button. At the same time, click that bell icon as well. That way you don't miss any future content. Feel free to also leave a comment about what you thought of the video, what you learned, or maybe potential other questions that I could dive into. Anyways, I would love to see you guys again soon. Stay tuned.